Hello, this is Nathan Allen. Just doing my reflection on Def Code assignment, the videos. Um, pardon me. First off, I thought, even as a concept, the videos themselves, I thought were really interesting. I think it's really cool and really neat that there are, I'm learning more about them, that there are so many resources that the deaf community has to not only further themselves but also present knowledge about deaf culture and about really all kinds of stuff, their interpretations, or not interpretations, their take on some of the stuff hearing people do and some of the stuff that goes on. I just think it's really interesting that there are so many mediums for them to do that and present that, the deaf code videos being one of them. I thought it was interesting to see, obviously, the differences regionally, how people sign. There was the difference in how, the girl from New York was one of them, how she signed versus the girl from LA versus the guy from the South. It was really interesting to see how all of them sign. One might be signing up higher and they might be signing really fast. One might be slower and more controlled, I say. But I thought that was one thing that was interesting. Another thing I thought was interesting is the same concept, but more with personalities. How each of them kind of had their own flair to it when they would sign. Some would be more energetic and, dare I say, aggressive when they would sign, and others would be very, smooth and methodical with it. I thought it was interesting because we had talked in class about how deaf people will make fun of hearing people for some of the stuff they do, and how they had talked about watching their people watchers sometimes. I thought those were both really interesting. I thought it was interesting them talking about some of the stereotypes, like hearing impaired and all kinds of stuff. I thought that was very interesting to kind of get a glimpse into how they feel about those things, as well as how they feel about people's perception of them as deaf people, especially when, like, I think the guy was talking and someone had said, "Oh, well, you're handsome." I didn't know deaf guys could be this handsome, and they were like, "Well, what are they supposed to look like?" But I thought it was interesting to see kind of their daily life and how they are perceived and how they feel about that, as well as how they perceive other things, and just a little glimpse into deaf culture.